segment of Did You Choose Hospitality or Did Hospitality Choose You? I'm live with Miss Jana Divine Jana Divine Hospitality. You know, she's live in the LBC. That's Long Beach for people outside the area. But I just want to welcome Jana first. I just want to welcome you and thank you so much for agreeing to do this segment, which is basically a conversation about how you got in the industry. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so wonderful. I'm so happy to be here. You look great, Russell.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You as well. I've learned. I've talked to Jana before. Okay, so we've collaborated before, and I'm learning so much more today than I did the first time. So I didn't realize she's so funny, and she should be on stage. She's like wasting her job doing whatever she's doing. She should be a comedian on stage. Okay, but we're gonna get into it. But feel free. This is live on YouTube as well as LinkedIn. So feel free to, if you have questions or comments or whatever, my comment section is open. So feel free to make your comments. Let me just make sure I am up and running on my comments for LinkedIn. But everybody wants to know, John. This is the question. This is the burning question everybody wants to know. Did
Hit
you
me.
choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you?
No, hospitality definitely chose me. 100%. 100%. I mean, my story is it's actually really, really, really cool. I was born into hospitality. So my dad used to be a chef in Germany, Berlin, and my mom, she used to be a manager for a housekeeping team in a medium-sized hotel as well in Berlin. So, my life was always surrounded by food and good wine and people laughing because my parents are very hospitable. So, we had a lot of guests at our home, and my mom was a perfect hostess. And, my dad, he used to cook. From growing up, I was either at the restaurant with my dad or I was at the hotel with my mom. So in between school, it would either be with my mom prior going to the hotel because she had to be at work super early, like 2 hours before school started, and my dad would sleep in because he worked the night at the restaurant, right? So then in the evening or in the late afternoon, when my mom or when I would come home from school, we would go and see dad at the restaurant. So definitely hospitality chose me. This was faith. I can't even say
Wow.
it any differently. And it wasn't really like that my parents kind of forced me into anything of hospitality, but by me growing up and just, learning very early on the multitasking aspect of hospitality and the quick pace and the, thinking, having a great memory and just really remembering a bunch of stuff and just being detailed in stuff, how my mom would go about cleaning rooms and running her team and my dad really doing the same in the kitchen, being prepared and preparing, specific things when they had big dinners and caterings and stuff. He'd be there and really direct his brigade of really doing everything correctly. I kind of learned that from small on, and it was very interesting to me. And then when I grew up, the fact that I could travel and do what I love was the best life that I've ever could have picked for myself because I would be the girl that would be basically all over, always in hospitality. It was always like my first love always following me, or I'm following my first love if you want to. And yes, hospitality definitely chose me.
Wow. Now, okay, early on, what was your okay? Hospital chose you, but what was your first job? Let's say back then, or as a kid in Germany, what was your first job?
I was 14, and in Germany, you had very strict rules. So, as a 14-year-old teenager, you only were allowed to work specific hours in a month, only on the weekends, too. So, my very first job was at Burger King. And when I tell you, I was so proud. I was so proud with my little uniform, with the little hat, and I thought I'm so cute and whatever. And I'll be the girl basically cleaning the tables, taking the trays away from
Hmm.
tables, cleaning them. And I would be so accurate with it too. Like not even one tiny crummy could be left and no trace, and everything was set nicely. And then I moved up to cashier. And once I hit that cashier button and once I understood sales from a different point of view, I was immediately hooked because now I'm not only combining good service, but I'm also combining sales, which is basically what hospitality is about, right? We're here to serve people, but we're also here to make money. So, yeah, so Burger King.
Wow, Burger King. Wow. didn't know that, right? I didn't know we are going to take that twist and turn to the Burger King, but that's cool. What about okay, so from Burger King, kind of give me just kind of quickly, just give me a quick, to from Burger King to where you are today and what you do today and
Right.
what is the importance of what you do today.
Right. So basically, from Burger King, it evolved into me doing an apprentice with a five-star hotel. And then from there, it really evolved into everything. So while I'm doing the apprentice, I'm in a hotel, a five-star hotel, which has over 26 departments, such as everything: housekeeping, dishwashing, concierge, sales, accounting, reception, service, fine dining service, catering, banquets, all of the above. And I would be in the time of the apprentice in every department for a specific amount of time. And then you would go and have a big test, right? So you would have to have a written test, a verbal test, and a practice test to get your degree. And once I got my degree, it moved on. I literally then started traveling immediately. Like I could not wait to have that degree to like leave Berlin and just really go explore the world. And it just kind of sort of happened from there. I lived in Switzerland. I lived in Hungary for a little bit. I lived in Canada. I lived in several states here in America. And it just kind of sort of started for me to travel. And every time when I traveled to, I always had a job that kind of asked me to come and work for them. And I use this opportunity to really just really stay at a job for like a year and then move on or move away, just because I wanted the experience, but also it was good for me to collect amazing places. Most of my career was really in five-star hotels and really upscale restaurants. So with me, with every time working in a different hotel, I gathered different knowledge, more degrees, higher positions, and yeah, it just kind of evolved from there. And then once I came to California, I started to really hone in wanting to do what I've always done for everybody, being a paid employee. I really wanted to do that for myself. And the reason why I chose to do that for myself is because I did not feel valued enough in my position and in the efforts and in the revenue that I created just as one person. And every time when I would have conversations with upper management, they would always tell me, "You're wonderful, you're one of the best people." And I'm like, "I know, but compensate me. Give me a part of your share. Give me more money. Like compensate me somehow, or I have to choose to leave because fundamentally I was building their dream. I was making their guests happy. I made their team better. I had arguments with people because I needed to prove that I am really speaking what needs to happen for the guest. And sometimes that rubbed people the wrong way. And then we parted ways, or I chose to leave, or they chose to let me go. All of the above happened too. And so fundamentally, I was like, I have to find a way to do this really on my own, just because I need to be in control of picking my clients. And I really want to work for people that are teachable, that really want to make a difference in this industry, because this industry is beautiful. And once we understand how we really treat guests and our staff, because I see both sides, right? I've been the
Mm-hmm.
staff that has been treated unfairly or not correctly, or, gave the runaround or whatever. But I've also been the boss that, made changes and helped people to grow and develop and shared knowledge and make them really understand that you can really make money with this. Just understand your product, just understand people, just understand body language, just see how people move, how people sit, how people signalize. Like that's all a cue that you can teach your staff these days. And yeah, I just took a leap of faith and I just quit everything. I'm like, I'm gonna do this on my own. And here I
Wow.
am.
Wow. Well, congratulations. So,
Thank you.
California, when you moved to California, that's when you started your own business, correct?
So in California, I officially started my own business. However, this idea is at least 20 years in the makings, because
Okay.
every time when I would have a job, I would collect specific information. So I would write it down in my journal. I put it on my vision board. I created ideas. I created plans. And then with every year more growing, with every year more growing bigger spiritually too, I scratched things off and I added stuff. And so it took me a while
Hmm.
to really, really be confident enough in myself, and also just be okay to, even if my opinion is wrong to others, this is still what I'm standing for. I'm not saying I'm the it. I'm saying what I know. I know I'm a good person. I'm here to help people grow, and I'm here to make money for myself and for whoever I'm collaborating with. And more importantly, I'm here for people to understand that we all have to treat each other fairly and with respect. Because without your staff, you're a nobody. I don't care what amazing place you have, how beautiful your establishment is, who comes eat in your restaurant. Your people not behind you, you can close your doors, right? And luckily, we came into this whole new whatever where people are finally waking up and understanding we got to compensate our people the right way, and people, staff understands if I have a good job, I can be blessed. Like I'm happy, like I'm being treated fairly, I'm being paid on time. If I want to grow, they help me grow. They bring in people like myself or you even, that help us to develop and grow. And yeah, that's kind of like what the whole philosophy of my company is.
I love it. Quick question: What do you think that we're missing in hospitality right now, especially after the pandemic is, well, hopefully it's behind us?
Mhm.
What do you think? What do you think we're missing? What do you think establishments, restaurants, hotels? What do you think they're missing as far as hospitality is concerned?
I feel like we're missing training. Absolutely. Everybody is missing a mark on training. There are specific establishments, specific hotels, specific restaurants, casinos, resorts, whatever. They have good trained people, but not everybody is good trained as that one or two or three people within their team. And overall, I feel like we all need training, and not only our staff, but also our upper management, because it's imperative for people to feel safe. It's imperative for people to have a leader on their floor. And it could be a shift leader, it could be a floor manager, it could be a GM. The position name doesn't matter. What matters is that people understand that there is somebody that when I am in the weeds, when I need help, I can fall on somebody and be like, look, I have this difficult guest. I don't know how to handle. I have this amazing bottle of wine. I don't know how to open it. I don't want to mess it up. Can you help me? Like you need somebody on the floor constantly that helps and has your back. So training is imperative. It's imperative for investors, owners, managers to understand that now is the time where you have your beautiful diamonds that you have. Please, please keep them, shave them, polish them, encourage them, give them a little extra, give them attention, tell them verbally how amazing they are, thank them. If you have extra money, give them a $25 gift card. If they have children, buy a little Christmas gift. Do something to keep your staff, because what I constantly keep hearing is, I have no staff. No, you do. You might not have enough staff, but you do have staff. Focus on what you have. Build on the block that is already in your space, right? And I feel like that's needed. Just a revamp of looking it from an old school point of view of hospitality. Because what is hospitality? You're serving people. You are servant. I don't care if you're the owner. You're still serving your staff. You're still serving your staff. You're still serving your guests. So looking at the overall picture, Google reviews, Yelp reviews, mouth to mouth, all of that is imperative. It matters. Every single thing matters, and if we just take more time and effort in investing in training, um, I feel like everybody would understand that whatever you have in your place, it's all about the acknowledgement. Share your knowledge. If you know, share it with your people. Like it doesn't matter if it's a secret recipe. If you want your people to execute how you would execute, then you need to share your secrets with them for them to be as brilliant as you are. And a lot of people are afraid. A lot of people are like, well, damn, if I share my secret sauce, are they going to run away? But I'm here to tell you, there's only one you. There's only one you in this world, right? And nobody can do it the way you do it. So if you're confident in that and you still share your knowledge and you spread love and light if you want to, I'm not trying to get all spiritual, but if you spread love and light, good stuff will come.
That's true. I agree. I agree. It's all about, sharing each other's your experience. Your experience is different than mine. Mine is different than yours or the next person. So, but if
Absolutely.
you only keep it for yourself, it only benefits you because you're the one that knows this whatever experience. But if you share it, then that's I think that's the key to a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with within hospitality. We're just not sharing our experiences enough to the
Enough.
people that
Right.
really want to know.
And I'm gonna take it a step higher because, I learned from my dad early on. He always told me, he said, if you want your team to really do excellent work, you show them step by step how it's done. Because at the end, not only will you get enough freedom, not meaning freedom, you don't have to be there. I'm saying freedom in knowing that your restaurant, hotel, casino is running properly, even though you are not there. Because guess what? You're a person too. You deserve vacation. You deserve time with your spouse. You deserve time with your kids. You deserve just to be off and read a book once in a while, even though you have several establishments, right? And you only get there if you are willing to really share everything you know and properly train everybody, basically taking them hand on, on the hand and showing them, walking them through stuff, and not forever, because remember, people got to be teachable. Everybody has to be teachable. Me, if I take a job, you, if you're my employer, everybody has to be teachable. If you're here for only a paycheck, I'm gonna figure you out. It's not gonna work for long. But if you're here for the right reasons, we can build something together for a long term. I don't mind giving shares from my spot to you if I can count on you, and you can become basically my right hand. But it's all about trust too. I feel like we all, through this global pandemic realize that we have to trust ourselves, but we also have to allow to trust others, regardless of what experience we went through. Just, it's a new slate. Let's do this together. Like, you trust me, I trust you, and as long as there's nothing that goes against that, and you don't show me different action, it's good.
I like that. Love it. Love it. Okay, I got one last question for you, John.
Hit me.
What advice would you give someone that's new coming into the industry?
So I say, if you're new in the industry and you've never been here, you got to understand you have to be naturally willing to be very open to people, right? Like, if you're a very shy and timid person, it's going to be very challenging for you. Now, if you want to break out of your comfort zone, come. Hospitality is the best way to go in, because you got to be at times a comedian, you got to be a therapist, you got to be quiet, you got to be loud, you got to be firm, but you also have to be always respectful, right? And so those are great learning processes for your character in general. So I feel like you got to be a people person in general. Like, you have to like people. I'm not saying love, but at least like people.
Mm.
you know so that's maybe one. And then I feel like number two is, please be teachable. Please understand that I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. We're here to learn from each other. As you mentioned, we share our experience, and just because your experience was the same way does not mean that it's going to be mine, right? And if you come into hospitality and you're really willing to learn something new and just listen to people that have done this for a while, not only do you learn something, but you take that knowledge and you can take it a step further, because whatever you learn here, you will that you can build. And I feel number three would be to just be as honest as you can be. If there's something you don't have an answer to, just say, I am so sorry, I don't have the answer to that, but I'm happy to find it out. Try to always go the extra mile. Always go the extra mile, because everybody will see that. If you do extra napkins, if you do extra site work, if you polish extra glasses, if you stay longer in half hour, and you're always the one staying half hour longer, it's not necessarily about people, but it's God will recognize that and will help you to get further. Do the extra mile. Just do the extra mile.
Love it. Thank you so much, Jana. I do appreciate that. How can someone get a hold of you?
Somebody can always get a hold of me. Just go on my website, Jana Divine Hospitality. Check me on LinkedIn, Jana Usher. My info is all over the place. I have my own YouTube channel too. You'll find me. Just hit me up on LinkedIn. Send me a text, send me an email. Let's get together for coffee and let's make this work.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what I'm talking about. But thank you so much, Jana. I do appreciate this. I try to do this as often as I can, get other hospitality professionals on here and come on and talk. Tell me how they got in the industry, because no two people got in this industry alike. So I do appreciate the 15, 20 minutes you gave me today. Thank you so much. And to everybody listening or watching out there, thank you guys for listening and watching. And I appreciate it. And we'll do this again soon. So thank you so much.
Okay. Peace. Bye.